We are the Church of the Larger Fellowship, a Unitarian Universalist congregation with no geographical boundary, working toward creating a global spiritual community, rooted in profound love, which cultivates wonder, imagination, and the courage to act. Adapting to the COVID-19 pandemic has been difficult for many bricks and mortar congregations. Early on in the pandemic, we were in a unique position to assist many congregations with the transition. We hosted special episodes of The View, provided advice and counseling to religious professionals, and trained congregations for live streaming worship, all while providing robust online programming for our members. From worship to covenant groups, from classes to pastoral care, and from our monthly magazine to our letter writing ministry, we have found ways to build connection and community even through the screen. We have been a model for ministry on the margins, providing services for isolated Unitarian Universalists, becoming a spiritual lifeline for our members in prison, and investing in innovative ministry. We know better than anyone how deep and meaningful connections can be formed even from a distance. Unitarian Universalists have faced many challenges in these times, and we continue to persevere and to fight for justice and equity for all people, especially during moments of crisis. We are proud to be a leader in this faith movement, and we invite you to get involved in our ministry. We strive to be a place where anyone from anywhere can find spiritual refuge anytime they need it. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Larger Fellowship.
Hello.
Hi!
Greetings. We are your lead ministry team, and it is that time of year when we get to have a little fun with each other. And we hope that you appreciate that the three of us love to cook. And so we thought it would be a nice way to get to know each other and for you to get to know us by sharing some of our family traditions. And Aisha and Chris are cooking live. I am not, so um, I'm daunted by this and excited to see what y'all are gonna make. And I think Chris, you've got the first recipe for the evening.
I do. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to share with you my family's recipe for habichuelas. So habichuelas are a Puerto Rican dish that every family has their own different version of this recipe. So if you think that habichuelas are supposed to taste a particular way, it's usually either because your family made them a particular way, or maybe the first time you had them was at a restaurant, and so you thought that was the way they were. So full disclosure, you are getting my family's, or one side of my family's recipe for habichuelas. Habichuelas just means beans. So like when you go to the aisle in the supermarket here in Puerto Rico, the aisle says habichuelas. So this habichuela recipe is made with red kidney beans. So that's the habichuelas that we're gonna have. So I'm gonna show you all of the ingredients, and then I'm going to get to be making it. So you have the red kidney beans, 2 cans of those. You've got 1 can of tomato sauce. That's just the smaller can, so it's like, you know, almost half the size of the kidney beans. You've got an onion. I'm not going to use probably all of this onion. Probably I'll use like 2/3 of it. I kind of eyeball it, the ratio of onion to bell pepper. I use green bell peppers. I'm sure you could use a different kind of bell pepper. I've just never tried it. So, you know, you do you, and I'll do me. I don't know. There's salt and pepper that goes in there, of course. There's oregano that goes in there. And then there's this seasoning spice that's called sazon. There's different kinds of sazon, so make sure that you get this one in the, oh God, I'm yellow, orange, blind. I think this is orange. In this package that looks like this. It says con cilantro y achiote with coriander and annatto. That's the one you want. And so up until now, the Abichuelas have been vegan up until this ingredient. So you can make Abichuelas vegan. You just stop with these ingredients that I just gave you. There are not a lot of Puerto Rican vegans. I just have to be real with you. It's not a thing here yet. And we have some vegetarians and we do have some vegans, but I don't know what they're eating. Anyways, the base of the Abichuelas starts off with pork. So you can either take some bacon or ham or Spam. Spam's big in Puerto Rico. I love Spam. I usually use bacon because I usually don't have Spam around when I'm at home in Virginia. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start this recipe and I'm just gonna start cutting up the onions and the bell peppers and the bacon. And before I throw it into the pot, will come back to me. But I think Aisha is going to share what she's making.
Yes, oh my God, I love habichuela. When I lived in Colombia, there was, the Cartagena version. So this is one of my very favorite cookbooks, traditional Arabic cooking. And the recipe I'm making is a dessert, and it's, I don't know if y'all can see because I never have a good camera ratio, basbousa, semolina cakes. So it's one of my very favorite desserts. And I just want to humble brag a little bit. I make my own ghee, and ghee is basically butter that is reduced for between, now if you go on YouTube, they'll tell you it's 25 minutes. That is a lie. For me, it's never taken less than 45 minutes. And I use probably 4 pounds of butter at a time. I use unsalted. And you boil it down. The milk solids go to the bottom and get brown, and then the water evaporates, and you have ghee. So semolina cake has yogurt, ghee that I melted the other ghee, and I found semolina flour, which is usually in the flour section for those who have. There's the camera, and coconut. So I'm putting coconut, semolina, butter, yogurt, baking powder. I do not have rose water, but I do have lavender bitters. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that. Why not? And it is unsweetened coconut. Yes, unsweetened shredded coconut. What makes it sweet is I made a simple syrup. I just made that just now, and it is sugar, water, and lime juice. That's going to get poured over. I mean, there is sugar in the recipe as well, but not that much. As soon as it comes out of the oven and it's nice and brown, I'm going to pour the hot syrup over top. It is a very delicious, and it is an Egyptian. A lot of the Middle Eastern foods are kind of all the other countries make it, but basbousa was originated in Egypt, and I'm sure I'll have somebody arguing with me, but I said what I said. It's Egyptian, like hummus is Arabic. I said what I said. So, and there's no such thing as chocolate hummus. To Michael's point, like there's no such thing as pineapple pizza. There's no such thing as chocolate hummus. So let's be clear. So it's whatever the heck that is.
I mean, you can mix chocolate with chickpeas if you want to, but
it's not hummus. Hummus, like hummus. So that's what I'm making. Michael, what are you making?
So I am not cooking live tonight because all of my family's holiday recipes take hours. But Tanner has some pictures of the things that we eat at Christmas in my family, and I come from an Italian family. And if you know the Italian Christmas tradition, People call it like the Feast of the Seven Fishes or the Feast of the 11 Fishes. Like nobody ever counts in my family. Like the exact number of fish is not actually a thing in my family. It might be in yours. I don't know. Um, but it's an entire fish dinner, and we start our meal in the afternoon. We have the way that my family has come to do it, so that we're not so stuffed we can't move. Is that we have for like a late lunch mussels and clams. And my mother makes mussels two ways. She makes it the traditional Italian way in a red sauce, and she makes it a kind of Provençal French way, because I do have one French grandfather with like tarragon and white wine and cream sauce. And we make baked clams, and we have a picture of the baked clams. Oh, here we go. So this is Nora helping make the baked clams. This is my daughter, and we bake them in the oven with a mixture of breadcrumbs and cheese and herbs and lemon juice and things on them, and they come out super super yummy. So we start with the baked clams, and but dinner is all fish. One of the my favorite dishes that we have is a fish salad, and we have a picture of that too. Um, that is it's a cold fish salad, and it's octopus and squid and shrimp and conch and scallops with capers and celery and lemon juice and olive oil. And it is really super yummy, and it is like if there's leftover fish salad, it is really super for a day or two. Like it gets better because the lemon juice and the things, the garlic and the it all sort of melds together. So the fish salad is my favorite part of Christmas Eve. But the star of our dinner is octopus. And we're gonna skip the raw octopus pictures because I have pictures like of my mother hanging. We hang the octopus up over a sink to dry overnight. Uh, it's just a thing, and it gets cooked in a red sauce. So there's a picture of the octopus in a pot. It's a spicy tomato sauce with red wine and capers and a lemon. It that the octopus cooks for hours. It simmers on a very low flame for hours. We put everything in the pot, and here is my great grandfather's octopus secret. I don't know where he came up with this. My great grandfather would take a brown grocery bag and cut a circle out of the brown grocery bag and tie it to the top of the pot and put the octopus on to simmer. And when the steam from the octopus had soaked through the entire brown grocery bag paper, it was done. Because you want it to like release and concentrate the flavors, but you also so octopus, like you either flash cook octopus and squid or you cook them forever, and this is cooked forever. You want it the acid in the tomato to break down, and the acid in the lemon to sort of break down the octopus, and it comes out tender as can be. And there's a picture of the octopus. The red sauce gets served over pasta, and the octopus gets served by itself. Um, and it is absolutely divine, and it is that is the centerpiece of my Christmas Eve. And again, so I could have like put an octopus on to cook, and it's 8:13 Eastern time at my house, and the octopus would have made my entire house smell good, and it would be ready about like midnight. So I'm asleep long before midnight, and so is my daughter, and so I'm sorry that I'm not cooking Christmas Eve live here with you tonight. because there's no one who will eat at 8:15 p.m. here in my house. Um, so how are those habichuelas coming, Chris?
They're great. So,
So you like render the bacon?
yeah, so I put bacon in there. It's just gonna cook really, really quickly. It doesn't take it very long because I've cut it up into those small little pieces. And then this is about the ratio of, I don't know if y'all can see that, of
Yeah,
green
we
peppers
can.
and onions.
So like almost a 1-to-1 green peppers to onions kind of thing.
You want a little bit more green pepper than onions.
Cool.
There's some green peppers underneath these onions, so you can't quite see. But it's like 2 big green peppers to about 2/3. This is about how much onion I have left over. Is what you want to do.
That was like a big Spanish onion.
It was a big onion, and I use all kinds of onions. Like whatever onion is available, that's the onion that goes in. It just, that's just the way it goes. In terms of the bacon, that was about it was 3 half slices, so it was a slice and a half of bacon. And again, if you're doing this around a holiday, maybe you have a ham, you just want to like cut off a little piece of the ham and throw it in there. You don't really need to put any oil in there because you've got the bacon fat that's happening. But if you are doing this vegan, then you do want to put some kind of like vegetable oil or something in there because what's going to go in next are the onions and bell peppers. So.
And would you use like an olive oil or just a plain old like vegetable?
I would use I would not use an olive oil because the olive oil gives it olive oil can have a really particular flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the flavor that you want in this. So I would.
My Italian family's food would have olive oil in it.
Exactly. I've made them, and the reason I know this is because I've made the mistake of using olive oil one time, and that was not the habichuelas that I was expecting. So live and learn.
So here is the Semolina Yogurt. I don't know how to make this vegan, and I'm not going to try. Hi, Nora. Hi. I would invite anybody who wants to make this vegan to go ahead, but in here is coconut, ghee, butter, yogurt, sugar, baking powder, and I did not have rose water, so I put a little bit of lavender just because we're gonna Unitarian it
floral, up. But just for that floral aspect. Yeah.
Exactly.
So is rose water really just rose water?
It's literally rose water, and it smells and tastes like rose water. It's actually quite lovely, and I found it in Seattle. I just forgot to get it for today.
I have actually made my own rose water.
Of course you did, because you're amazing.
I have these roses that grow on the side of my driveway that are some sort of like heirloom, super fragrant roses, and you can simmer the roses. Like part of the key is you don't want it to get too hot because that kills the rose flavor. So you have to like simmer it and then kind of distill the essence of the roses. It's fun.
I'm opening a new jar of ghee that I made to add to the.
So Aisha, you just mix that all together. The semolina and the coconut and the ghee.
Yeah, and it cooks in about 20 minutes. And I also I took pictures of a couple of old pictures. I think one of them is me as a baby that I'm not sure if Tanner it worked because I literally just took pictures with my phone and sent them. So Tanner will let me know if they worked, and then you all can see me. That's me. That's in Alexandria, Egypt. I was ginormous, according to my mother, close to 10 pounds. She likes to tell me how she was in labor for 22 hours. And then she went into the hospital November 20th. And I was born 1:30 in the morning, November 21st. And she argued with the doctors, like, no, her birthday's really the 20th. They're like, no, her birthday's the actual day she was born. So my whole life I heard about how the doctors were stupid. And I should have been, my birthday's the 20th. But I'm like, but I landed out of the vaginal canal on the 21st, Mom. So yeah.
My mother was in labor for 48 hours with me, so I hear about that a lot.
I had 2 C-sections, and I'd highly recommend them. And I know that's controversial. Go ahead,
she was in labor for her entire 3rd wedding anniversary.
Oh,
I
wow.
was born at 19 minutes after midnight, the day after her 3rd
That's
wedding
one of those
anniversary.
things you would hear about your whole life, Michael.
My whole life, Aisha. So I get that.
Yeah, I get it.
I was only 9 pounds though, so.
I was, yeah. I think my mother was exaggerating, but
I was 8 pounds and almost
Christy,
9
like,
pounds. And like, you know, what happened? I didn't.
Okay, so now I'm putting this.
So you mix that all together and put it in a like a springform pan or something with.
You can put it in a tart pan, a pie pan. I just grabbed the springform pan because it makes my life easier. I put parchment because then I'm gonna take it out. I actually made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this, but that's all right. I should have put it in a pie pan because I need to put hot syrup on it when it's hot. But I'm gonna actually take it out of the springform pan and put it in a different pan and then put the hot syrup because I think the syrup will melt the maybe it won't. I don't know the parchment. I think it'll be.
So here are the onions and the bacon sweated.
Yum.
Done sweat. And now we're gonna throw in the green peppers.
I did make one thing tonight, and so I will share that if you want.
Yes.
When my husband and I got together, my tradition at that point was that my entire family came to Durham, North Carolina, where I lived at that point, for Thanksgiving. And we did Thanksgiving on Saturday because my brother and sister-in-law had to work. They lived in Atlanta, and people they were at the beginnings of their careers. They had to work on Thursday. So we did the big meal on Saturday. And by Saturday, Eric's parents could make it in from Little Rock, Arkansas. So they would drive in from Arkansas and come to Durham to have Thanksgiving with us on Saturday. And my mother-in-law introduced us to her sweet potato casserole, which is a traditional Southern sweet potato casserole. We've got it on camera right now. It is it's like dessert on the side of your plate. So the sweet potatoes are mashed and mixed with sugar and vanilla and milk, and then it's topped with pecans and brown sugar and butter and a little bit of flour, and then baked till the pecans and brown sugar make like a crispy crust. Again, if you could make this vegan by just substituting whatever you substitute for butter, coconut oil or a little shortening, and vegan. The only thing that's and there's a little milk in here, but it would be totally fine without the milk or with oat milk, or I like oat milk better than soy milk. I don't like the flavor of soy milk, but whatever you love, put it in here. And so I made this tonight and managed to save enough to show it to you. Because this is like my daughter's favorite thing, and she was so excited that we had grandmom's sweet potatoes. When I make it just not for a holiday and for like weekday dinner, I cut down the sugar by a lot and the butter by a lot. But it's still yummy. It's still yummy. On holidays, it's sugar and butter, and it's
as it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first Thanksgiving when we moved to New York that my in-laws were not joining us for, my family asked about the menu, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make, sweet potatoes like candied and orange, and they're like, you're not gonna make Lenora's sweet potato casserole. I mean, they had these giant puppy dog eyes, like.
Adorable.
And so I got the recipe from my mother-in-law,
Aww.
and now I have it, and I make it every year. And we'll have it again at Christmas. In their family, they have it Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's it. They have it twice a year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. But we will have it again at Christmas.
So
Okay.
I put salt and pepper in.
Mm-hmm.
How much? I don't know. You just put salt and pepper in. And then I put oregano in.
Like this much.
Then, and so like I put oregano in so that there's like, it's kind of covering the top, like lightly covered on the top. And that's really it. And now we're just gonna throw in the kidney beans and the tomato sauce. And one thing I forgot to tell y'all is very important. Sazon is concentrated. It comes in these little packets inside this big box. See the little packets? Don't put the entire box of packets in there. No.
Do you even use an entire packet in that little pot of beans?
So yes, you'll end up using 2 entire packets. We start with 1 packet on the dry, and then we'll put the other packet after all the wet ingredients go in.
Am I up there now?
No, we'll put you up there.
So the spring form didn't work. I don't know what I was thinking. And I scored it. I don't know if you could see, made little diamond shapes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to throw it in the oven for 20 minutes.
And do you use, what kind of yogurt do you use in that?
I used Greek. You really can use any kind. You can also use sour cream. You can also use milk. There's recipes as varied as, I don't know, lasagna for Italians. Like, it really, everybody's got their own family basbousa recipe. I don't know what my mother's is. I just get them from books. So I know what I like. And so it is one of my, and I'm actually going to a friend's house for dinner tomorrow. So I'm very excited that I will bring, because I'm like, I don't make pans of basbousa. I'm not eating it by myself. And Tanner, what other pictures did I snapshot? I forgot if I sent some black and white family pictures, so I'm not sure what else I sent. We could show folks. Oh, you know what I sent? My mother, when she was a child, they would have birthday parties and have a lot of food. I tried to find pictures with food in them. So I don't know, Tanner, if one or both of those are going to work. So that's one of the pictures of my mother when she was a child and a birthday party. And this was in the countryside in Egypt. Yes. So, yeah. My dog is there's another one of, that's probably either a few years earlier or a few years later. And that's fam. And everybody, cousins, everybody was a cousin or a sibling. If you weren't a sibling, you were a cousin, whether or not you were actually biologically related. Although my grandparents were first cousins, so everybody was related. Everybody. Yeah.
And aunts and uncles as much as our chosen family are as related to us as our biological family. It's
amen for that. Now I have, thankfully, Grace, and this is my roommate. This is Gracie.
Hi, Gracie.
Who is annoyed at me for not paying attention to her. So that's fun. I want to give a shout out. I've been our colleague and beloved Matthew Taylor passed away Monday night, and I've been thinking of them the whole week. And I almost didn't want to do this, but I said to myself, showing up and being together is what in honor of Matthew. And this is, I think, the first, this is just being together. And Matthew was going to be the featured worship leader for December, and it didn't work out. So I'll be preaching on Sunday and dedicating my service to Matthew.
And Matthew's spiritual journey was heavily centered around Egyptian
Yes.
worship and gods and spirituality. So it's nice that you're making a special Egyptian dessert.
And they were part of our CLF solstice last year. We're trying to see if and I don't know if we still have the footage. So, but Matthew was part of the team that presented winter solstice for us. So that's special.
So I told them the story of the sweet potato casserole, Nora. You want to tell people what you think of this? She's just laughing if you can't hear it. She's a big fan of the sweet potato casserole.
Yum.
So that's it for the habichuelas. I put some water into the cans and rinsed out the cans because it's supposed to be a little bit soupy, but not too soupy. And then I put some more oregano in it. So I let it simmer for as long as it takes me to make rice. Yeah, so you can put it on if you want to eat right away, you can put it on a little bit higher heat and keep stirring it. If you want to let it cook for a couple hours, you can put it on super low. You don't want it to cook, you don't want it to boil, right? You want it to be a very, very low simmer because you don't want the beans to break out of their casings and get mushy, right? So that's really what
beans not bean soup. Yeah.
Right. We don't want a real kind of mush kind of thing. So I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit. And usually I would start the rice, but I cheated and I don't know if I cheated, but I have still rice left over from yesterday, so I'm gonna heat that up.
That's not cheating. That's good stewardship of our planet.
There we go.
Not wasting food.
Exactly. So this recipe is from, I am Puerto Rican on my father's side, but my stepfather was also Puerto Rican. And so I got some recipes from his family and some recipes from my grandparents, my grandmother on my dad's side. So this one is actually from my stepfather's side of the family, because my grandmother actually didn't love habichuelas, and so she didn't cook them a lot. And so when I wanted to figure out how to make them, I realized that her recipe was not the recipe that I had grown up eating. And hers were, wonderful. But what I had in my mind, again, as habichuelas was not what she was making. So I had to go back and recreate this. And now my kids, Andreas and Miguel, know how to make habichuelas. It's one of those recipes that's passed down because it's really easy to make. There's not a lot of ingredients like you saw, but it goes with everything. So we usually have that pot of habichuelas in the refrigerator, and we have it with eggs in the morning. We'll have it, of course, the easiest one is rice and beans. Everybody knows rice and beans. But I also will make like a baked potato and put the habichuelas on it because the bean is, the protein, and it's really delicious. And so it's a really easy way to get our protein in. So we'll have it with eggs. We'll have it with ham. We'll have it with, it's so good with mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh. So instead of gravy, you use the habichuelas. So delicious. You can get it, you can almost have it like a soup and dunk bread into it. It's really, really multi-purpose. And it's really, really cheap. So when I was, not making the big bucks or even the tiny bucks, and I needed something to keep me going, habichuelas was big on my radar because, Spam is not very expensive. You know, an onion and a bell pepper and some canned beans went a long way.
How much Spam would you put in there if you were putting Spam in there?
If I was to do the Spam, I would probably put like a quarter of this Spam in there, because Spam is so salty.
Yep.
And flavorful. You know, it'll do the job with just a little bit of it. But Spam, I love. My favorite way of having Spam is just really thinly sliced and fried. Oh, it is so good. If y'all haven't had Spam, if Spam has not been a part of your life, let me tell you, you are missing out.
Have you discovered Spam musubi yet? Because yum, Spam with the rice and the seaweed. So I've had Spam. I've had Spam musubi.
Yeah, that's actually how I was introduced to Spam too, the Hawaiian way.
Yes, the Hawaiian Spam. When I first Hawaiian and Japanese, right? The Japanese influence in Hawaii, and yeah, so I was very excited when I got to Hawaii for the first time to see Spam on the menu. I was like, yes, another island that knows good food when they see it. And you know, it's not for everybody and it's not for everything, but I find it delicious.
I had a friend that I worked with in Durham who was obsessed with musubi and bought a press and like taught herself how to make it, and like was waiting for the year that she could enter it in the North Carolina State Fair, because there's a spam category in the North Carolina State Fair.
Get out! Is there really?
There totally is. And
she
and I would go to the state fair every year, but there's a Spam category, but it's like some years it's like what you can make with turkey Spam or Spam chili or whatever. Like, so it's not just any Spam recipe will do. In that they give you like a narrow Spam challenge.
Yeah, so you know you're in Spam country. Like today when I went to the store here in Puerto Rico, and I went to the Spam aisle, and there was like, you know, when I go to the store in Virginia for Spam, there's this Spam, and that's it. And here there's like an entire Spam section. And there's different kinds of Spam, and you know, I should have bought like one of every kind to try and show you all, but I was very excited about all the different kinds of Spam. I will be trying them. I did not even know that there were different kinds until I got to the Spam aisle here and was like, oh my gosh, there's like 6 different kinds of Spam here.
I only learned about different kinds of Spam from the North Carolina State Fair.
I learned about it at Uwajimaya, which is an Asian market here in Seattle, supermarket. It's huge, mostly from Japan, Japanese food, Chinese, Korean, and they have umpteen kinds of Spam, and it's pretty wild. Cool. Mm-hmm. And fun fact, I learned from somebody, I think Sena Said, Reverend Sena Said, who actually just got married. When she lived in Japan, and Arian, feel free to let us know if this happens where you are too. KFC is huge, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That folks would order Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. I've never been to Japan, nor have I lived in Japan. I'm just passing on a fun fact that hopefully is true, and I'm not just spreading rumors about Japanese on Christmas. I don't know.
Sana wouldn't have said that if it wasn't true.
I know. So that's a fun fact. And I did not grow up celebrating Christmas. We would watch everyone else. I thought Santa hated Muslim kids, so that was not at all traumatic and exclusionary. I'm fine about it. I have no feelings about it.
Well, Santa hates Unitarians too, so. The KFC Christmas Cake. Wow. So like, is that like an actual dessert, or is that some chicken monstrosity?
I was literally thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, now somebody needs to Google KFC. I'm going to Google it. I have my phone
Japanese KFC Christmas cake. We're going to Google it and get back to you.
KFC Christmas Cake. Oh,
That's pretty
KFC
astounding.
Christmas Japan. CNN, how KFC became a Christmas tradition in Japan. But I'm looking for Christmas cake, so I'm going to get more specific here with Google.
Well, if I were doing Christmas desserts from my family, really the only traditional dessert that we have are called strufele, and they're little fried balls of dough, and they have orange blossom water in them.
You can't go wrong with
I've never
fried
made orange blossom water, but they're very lightly like orange scented, but they're about this big, and you have to make individual little balls of dough and deep fry them, and then they're soaked in
Europe, I've had them.
honey with anisette. So you make a big mound of them, and then you pour the hot honey anisette. Arian says it's a strawberry cake offered
That's what I
only
was
at
just going to say.
Christmas.
Yep.
Okay, so
KFC.
as long as it's a cake, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just you never know. It's KFC. It could have been like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
You never know.
And I want to give a shout out to Jakaren Olaoya, who for my chicken earrings, I'll be wearing them for every cooking event at CLF. These are Jakaren sent them to me, and I love them. They are my. All right, I'm gonna move my. Well, no, I'm not.
How long does this beautiful cake take to bake?
20 minutes. So we've got 5 more minutes. But I want to show you. I'm not moving the computer because my kitchen is not the best. But this is one of my metal chickens from Cartagena, Colombia. So I'm just gonna bring over my chicken collection. So y'all.
Just bring over your chicken.
You have your housewarming chickens?
Oh my gosh! Can I show over? Yeah, because this is my Medellin, Colombian. Why can't I figure? Oh, there it is. I'm overthinking the camera. Is the problem. All right, I'm going to show you all my Chris and Michael sent me these, and I have them. I watch them every day. What the Cluck and Mother Clucker. I don't know if they're trying to insinuate that I curse, but I do. So it's very accurate.
I don't know why we thought those were appropriate for you, Aisha.
I mean,
Cursing chickens.
Yeah. Oh, and this is, I found a paper towel holder with a chicken on top. How cute is that?
That is very cute.
I love it.
And then up here, okay, so I'm really going a little crazy. I'm going to show you, these are they're actually placemats that I put on the wall.
Cute.
So yeah, okay. Everybody in the world now, all 8 people.
Oh, look at those. Those are great, Aisha.
Thank you.
I love it.
Oh, and then my friend, now once people started finding out I collect chickens, my other friend in Colombia got me these string of chickens.
You'll never be able to shake that,
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to be like, stop the clucking chickens.
Stop clucking. So maybe we should tell folks about some of the other CLF Connect events that are coming up.
Yes.
So we have our traditional gingerbread house decorating competition. And this year, I believe it'll be Tanner and some of the CLF Learning Fellows, if I'm not mistaken, resurrecting the long-held tradition of seeing who can do the best with the least in the least amount of time. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. What they come up with is pretty interesting. Let's see. What else do we have? We have the CLF prison ministry team will be writing holiday cards with you to send to incarcerated Unitarian Universalists. So that's a really easy one to kind of drop in and drop out. You don't have to be there for any of these. You don't have to be there for the full time, but that's a really easy one to come in and write out a couple of greeting holiday cards that go out to our incarcerated UUs.
And if you can't make it to that, you can go to our website and sign up to send holiday greetings to our incarcerated UU members. We have almost 1,500 now incarcerated Unitarian Universalist members. Like that video says, 1,200, over 1,200. Like it's like a new number every week.
Yeah.
And we like to send each of our members 2 or 3 different greetings every year. So we need folks to just sign up, and you print them out and you mail them with the CLF's return address. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? We have a new CLF Nailed It. So if you loved last year's Nailed It challenge between Julica Herman de la Fuente and myself, you will love this year's Ugly Christmas Sweater Challenge, Bake Off Challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Especially since I just realized I'm gonna be doing it here in this kitchen where I don't have an oven. So
You don't have an oven? Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And Aisha and I are gonna do a bake once a week lime cookie. Right?
Are we doing the same one or each doing? I want to do the lime cookie too, so maybe we'll both do lime cookie.
We might both have to do lime cookie, and
because we both want to do lime. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean,
send me the recipe. I'll make lime cookies too. That sounds.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then Aisha and I are bringing back Iron Chef CLF, except this year, CLF members and friends are going to get to vote on what our theme ingredient is going to be. So Aisha and I are going to make dinner or something, a dish. Maybe it's a dessert. I don't know. We don't know what the theme ingredient is going to be yet. With a theme ingredient that you all get to challenge us with. And so look for that poll.
Now, who's going to come up with the ingredient list, or are we leaving this to people's imagination? I think not.
Tanner is going to come up with suggestions, but we have no input in that. I will be doing a worship service Saturday the 18th to honor the darkness for those of us in the northern hemisphere where the days are growing shorter and the darkest day is about to be upon us. We're gonna celebrate the darkness, the healing darkness, the spiritual gifts of darkness together.
That's beautiful.
That'll be fun. What else are we doing, Tanner?
We have a scavenger hunt, but I can't remember if that's already happened.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Okay.
Y'all missed the scavenger hunt if you're hearing about it right now.
So close. There's some other things out there with some other CLF staff. So Tanner has done a fabulous thing for you all and made it super easy to download the CLF Connects calendar events. So just check it out. I'm sure it's linked on our website and our social media, and it just makes it super easy. You won't miss any of them. Many of them we replay on YouTube. So if you want to see me make a complete fool of myself last year in last year's Nailed It, that's still up there for you too.
It was fun, Chris.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to be even more interesting this year. I just got to tell you.
Janine Gelsinger said she would watch CLF cooking every week, much better than boring Food Network hosts. We love you, Janine.
Me too.
This is your moment, Janine. All right, so I'm going to do my arroz and Abichuelas. They are just about done.
Ooh.
I'll usually cook them longer, but they're certainly done now because they're already, pre-cooked.
So let's see. This is the basbousa, and what I'm going to do, I don't know how to. Oh, there we go. Can you see that?
We can.
So I'm going to turn off the oven and I'm going to pour.
So that is hot right from the oven.
This is hot right from the oven. You pour. You hear the sizzle?
We do.
Wow.
And now I'm not actually going to use all of it because that's way too much. But what'll happen? See, it's already soaking up. Oh, did I fog up the? It's already soaking
you're good.
up the stuff. So this is already soaking up. Like I had poured it, and now it's like all soaked up almost.
Yum.
And
Yeah.
would you put
And then
like?
you let it sit.
Would you put like nuts or something on that?
Yeah, I was also supposed to get half almonds, which didn't happen. But it's
So
still gonna be
almonds
delicious.
on that?
You could put, if you're not allergic, half almonds on each diamond. Or you can leave them out if you don't like nuts. Like I said, I couldn't even begin to tell you how to make a vegan version of this. I would say find a different dessert, really.
Would it be completely sacrilegious or disrespectful to put some
I mean, it wouldn't be
pistachio nuts on it?
disrespectful, but I'm not sure. Well, I guess I don't know what vegans do. Like, I guess you. Oh, I guess you could use if you have. You could use coconut oil instead of the. And you actually could. It would be very coconutty, and it would kind of be a different dish. It wouldn't be a semolina. It would be a semolina cake with coconut, and it would probably taste more tropical. Unless I guess you overdid it with the rose water. I don't know. I guess you could. Somebody try it and let me know. I have no desire. I like the butter and yogurt. No shade to vegans.
You think pistachio nuts would be okay on that? Because pistachio nuts.
Yeah, you know what I do? I almost made, but I didn't have my act together, baklava. Because I make a wicked delicious baklava, and you could use pistachio or a combination of pistachio and walnuts if you like baklava, which is made with phyllo dough. That I can't give to the Egyptians because that's mostly Greek, but the Arabs make it too. But basbousa is Egyptian. So
I will say I once because CLF, you're not going to be surprised by this. I once and only once made my own phyllo dough.
Wow, I wouldn't even. That's amazing, Michael.
That is amazing.
It took me 12 hours.
Yeah.
To make a pan of baklava.
Exactly why I never made my own baklava phyllo dough.
Exactly will never happen again. I promise you, never. I was a teenager and I was gonna do it right, and it took 12 hours to make, like, seriously, like one of these like 10 by 10 inch tiny little square pans of baklava. It was pretty.
That's awesome. Oh, and I missed Janine Breakwaite's. You made your own ghee, your own rose water, multiple options for vegans. Wow, you guys can really cook. We love you, Janine. We have two Janines. Janine Delsinger and Janine Breakwaite. We love all the Janines. We are attracting Janines. I love it. And Arian and whoever else is watching. I'm not sure.
So good. And if you're like me and you don't like bell peppers, you just don't have to eat them.
But the flavor has to permeate. Yeah,
exactly. I like the flavor of bell pepper. I do not like eating bell peppers.
Interesting. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm actually not going to eat any of the basbousa, but it is delicious. It's one of my favorites, and I trust that it is fabulous.
Well, and my 8-year-old is counting on me saving her the leftover sweet potatoes so that she can.
I kind of wish I was having what you guys made. Yeah, I wish I had some of the sweet potato and a habichuela with arroz con abichuela.
It's good. It's good, y'all. I've already had dinner and I'm still eating this because, it's almost 9 o'clock here.
Yeah, it's almost 6 here. My dog is literally standing next to me, waiting patiently for me to take her out. She's like, excuse me, you've been working since 8:15 this morning. Excuse me. If she had a watch, that's what she'd be doing.
Well, we are so glad that you could join us for these stories and learn a little bit about us and our families. I've learned a lot, and I hope that you've had a little bit of fun with us today.
Yes, and we will be here for more fun and cooking and adventures. And in the meantime, we'll see you Sunday.
Bye, y'all.
Be well.